Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tony Hollis Live Talk Show Testify. Again, we're going to be picking back up on where we left off as it relates to the case of Mr. Abby Rump. Been doing a little digging on that case, and I've come across some information that I think the public would be very interested in. I got a 13-page complaint document. I'm not going to read it all, but I'm going to hit some of the high points in it. I'm going to try to put it on the screen where you all can read with me. But before we get into this document, I want to also give an announcement. I think most of you know that we're at the point right now where, as they say, it's time to put up or shut up. I'm referring to the people coming together in unity, on a unified front, to try to do something about this systemic racism as it relates to our police department. This is something that is going on in, going on all across the country. You know, it's not in one isolated spot. I mean, it's pretty spread, you know, across the board. And but we need to start doing something within our community, upholding police accountable. And so that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. We're going to be talking about the two officers who participated in the physical assault of Mr. Rump. Not only the physical assault, but they treated him less than human. And we're going to get into that, going to reveal some things about these two cops that we're going to be talking about tonight. But before I get started, I just want to set your mind. Set your mind being, you know, again, we continue to see young black men shot down across this country. And I want to say this here. You know, I've been seeing things on Facebook, you know, from those folks who don't like what we're doing. Either they don't understand or they don't care to understand. And so this broadcast tonight, this broadcast is not for you. So you might as well tune out. We got some serious business that we got to be taken care of tonight. I don't know if I got my comment section on, but I do get my, I'm hoping I'm public live. If not, you all better call me and let me know. But if somebody can just shoot me a hello, then I know my comment section is on. But anyway, before we get started, I just want to run two little short, quick videos for you just to set your mind again of why it's very important for you to stand up for your son. How you doing, Miss Marley? Miss Spirit? I sure appreciate you. Now we're ready. No more comment section is on. But I want to set your mind by running these videos tonight. I ain't doing this road. And so it's not long. I'm only going to play a few minutes of it. And once I set your mind, then we'll roll into the show and I'll begin to start talking to you about this complaint that was filed against the two police officers back in 2016. All right. So let's go ahead and roll. This is a young man who lost his life, black male, in Columbus, Ohio. And we're going to first show you how exactly the turn of events occurred. Okay. So that's what we're going to get into right now. So let's try to pull this video up right now for you and see if we can go ahead and play that. All right. So let's try to do that right now. Let me go up here and try to go ahead and maximize it. All right. Let me go back down now. Okay. Let's go ahead and play.
How you learned of your son's death and how you were told that it happened.
Yes, I was at work and my 5-year-old called me crying and screaming, Mommy, Casey just got shot the police just shot Casey, mommy. He's on the floor dead, mommy. Hurry up, come here, get me, mommy. Hurry up and get here. So I was not worried about my 5-year-old.
And your 5-year-old was a witness to it, right? Because it sounds like reports were that Casey had put his keys in the door, right? And so the door was almost open, and he ended up falling inside. Is that right?
Correct. That is correct.
Now, Sean, local law enforcement has said that the killing was justified. The FBI has just announced that they're now joining the investigation. Where do things stand with the investigation? And what are the circumstances surrounding whether or not Casey had a gun?
So first and foremost, I think it's important to point out that on Friday, on the day of the shooting, that the marshal, the U.S. Marshal, said that this shooting was justified. He said that on the day of the shooting, no investigation had taken place at that point. And so it's important to note that it seems that the marshal did not care what the investigation, uncovered. And so from that point, this investigation has always had a tainted aspect to it. And so beyond that, their initial statement said that Casey was riding by in a car and that he flashed or that he waved a gun. And so that just simply was not true. And beyond that, what the family knows is that Casey, that morning that he went to the dentist, he had a dentist appointment, and that, he just played out a normal day. From that point, Casey went to Subway and headed home. And he parked in front of his house. He walked across his neighbor's yard and across his yard to the side door. And at some point, Casey had the screen door open, had his keys in the door, and Deputy Jason Meade fired shots at Casey. And Casey fell into the house where he lay in his kitchen in a pool of blood next to his Subway sandwiches. So, to say that that's justified, and to say that, to tell us that Casey was shot at some point after he exited his vehicle leaves out a lot of key details. And it raises questions about why you would say that's justified and leave it at that.
And Tamala, at one point, investigators claimed there were no civilian eyewitnesses, but again, Casey was close to home and you had family members inside. They've also said that there was no body camera footage. At this point, do you have any indication of what you feel happened, and what would you like to see happen now in your pursuit for justice?
What I believe in my heart happened is that my son was murdered in cold blood for being a black man. That's what I truly believe in my heart, because he didn't do nothing else. What I want is justice. If it was any one of us, a normal civilian, me, my son, my brother, any one of us, we would be in jail on murder charges right now. And because he was a quote unquote officer, because I choose not to call him that, because he took an oath to serve and protect. And clearly that's not what he does, because this is not his first altercation in a deadly shooting. Therefore, I want justice for my son. It's time we get justice in these cases. My son was murdered in cold blood, and that man deserves to be in jail. He deserves to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. He deserves to be fired. He deserves his badge to be taken. And then the deputy sheriff's office and whoever else is involved need to take proper steps in ensuring that their deputies are trained properly and not to kill.
All right, and that's that video. And we want to just show just one more to where she was pretty much at a, I think they had some type of conference. I think this is where she pretty much become very emotional, and it's not long at all. And so we're going to show that, and then we're going to roll into the show. Okay, so let's go up here now and try to pull that video up if we can. We go back and close this out, of course. And now we're going back up here. Share screen, and this is where I believe this is what we want right here. So I think this is the one we want right here. And so we're going to run this video right here. It's not long at all. This is where she pretty much became very emotional. It's a sad thing for a mother to outlive her child, especially the way he died. It's just tear you up. But anyway, let's run this video right quick, shall we?
The rest of them out there were assholes. They grabbed my son's dog out by his neck, covered in blood in front of the whole family, drug him and threw him into a van, and his body upside the van to the point where everybody standing out there could hear his body hit it.
You're going to hear how she was talked down to by the police.
We were standing out there. They went and confirmed what hospital Casey went to. They wouldn't give us any information that said if he was dead or alive on the stretcher. We knew that his eyes was open, but we didn't know if he was dead or alive. So we were praying he was going to make it. But then my sister was informed that he did not make it by the sergeant. I don't know his name, but he was a kind man. When we found out Casey didn't make it, of course, we were all destroyed and we just wanted each other and they wouldn't let us. The deputy, because I was trying to get to my family, was calling me bitches. Not once, but several times I was called a bitch. They wouldn't let them have keys to the car to get heat. They were outside, freezing cold, no shoes, no coats, no socks. My 18-year-old was in a bra. I mean, we will never be the same. And we still don't have answers as to why. Why? Like, why are we going through this? What did he do? Why did he deserve this? Like, why? What did you do this for? What would make you do this to our baby?
We're going to go ahead and end that, you all. As I say, very, very, sad moment for this family, grieving. Again, we continue, as I indicated, to see young black men shot down. You heard the way that she was talked down. The children, they was out in the cold, wasn't allowed to, I guess, whatever coats or whatever they had was inside the house. And, the house was considered a crime scene, due to the fact that's where the young man died. We're going to talk about that, though, probably later on. Probably another broadcast, but this young man was at his door, okay? At his door, key in the door open. He was shot in the back by, I think it was a U.S. Marshal or deputy, or I'm not going to go back and read the docket. But nevertheless, police is a police. He shot in the back by the police, fell dead right there in front of his 5-year-old brother. Sad. Okay? But I just wanted to set your mind just to let you know exactly. We got to do something about this, y'all. As a matter of fact, I want to go over here and pull up something here just to show you what we're doing right now. Many of you saw it. We're trying to put together a legal defense fund. All right? At one point, I wanted 200 of you. Okay? But, 500 of you. But I scaled the number down. And so 200 people at $100, that would give us 20 grand. We're going to try to raise some money where we can go ahead and bring in a first class action lawsuit against the city of Blytheville. You know, this systemic racism, it has to end. It have to end. You know, I think we need to be treated like human beings. You know, you can't just put all of us in the boat and just, judge us, from that perspective. We got to do something, y'all. As I say, it's either put up or shut up. $200. 200 people at $100 will give us 20 grand, and we're going to get an attorney in here to go ahead and file this thing for us. All right. So hopefully you all will get on board, and help us out. All right. But that's what we got going on. Legal Defense Fund. I want to say that we know that the holidays is up on us, and so I don't want to get into your Christmas. Okay. I know that we all out shopping, spending money, gifts and everything for the children, for ourselves, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, we're going to kick this thing off sometime in January. Once we move past New Year, I'll be communicating with you, and then you'll know exactly how this thing is going to roll out. I want to say I thank all the ones thus far that have committed to the pledge. Please pass the word, let them know what we're doing. This thing is going to be set up in a way where it's going to be very transparent. You're going to know every dollar that's coming in, how those dollars are to be spent. You're going to know it all. So please tell someone about what we're trying to do and encourage them to join in. Okay? So that's our Legal Defense Fund. 200 people at $100 equal 20 grand. All right. One lawsuit, we would get the police department, the council, and the mayor. We would get their attention. Okay. It has to stop, you all. It has to stop. All right. Now, what I want to do is that I want to roll into this document here. This is a lawsuit that was filed. First of all, I want to say that this lawsuit was it's a federal lawsuit that was filed. As a matter of fact, let me put something up here. This lawsuit, many of you done heard of this here. This is a federal lawsuit. It is upon Section 1983 federal. This is a federal lawsuit against state government employees and other acting on, the color of law for civil right violations. Okay. Now, this law is already in place. This is a federal law. This is not nothing that we're trying to get adopted or what have you. This is a federal statute, okay? And what this does, it enforces, this statute enforces and it punishes those who violate this section 1983 federal lawsuit, okay? But that's what that is. And of course, we want to be talking about, let me find it. Now there's two cases. The case that I'm going to read you about, this is the case that was filed in the Mississippi County Circuit Court. That's what started the case. As many of you know that I send a FOI. Many of you don't know what a FOI is. That's a Freedom of Information request. Okay. It's FOIA actually. It's a federal statute as well. Many state legislators adopted. But it stands for the this Freedom of Information Act. That's what it's called. Some people call it FOIA. All right. But I did an FOI with the police chief, wanting to seek some information on some of the police officers that was involved as it relates to Mr. Abby Rump. Of course, the mayor, the police chief, Ross Thompson, and city attorney, Mr. Chris Brown. We exchanged like 2 or 3 emails, if not 4. And what I was trying to obtain was the personnel file of John Frazier and the police officer John Caruthers, who had that's the officer that had his knee on the neck, head of Mr. Rump. Of course, they sent me some information back, text message that is, excuse me, email, and they all was in the affirmative agreement that whether it's past years up to present, what they're telling me is that there is no disciplinary actions for John Frazier, who is serving as a captain for CID, Criminal Investigation Department, and as well as Mr. John Caruthers. I really don't know what he do. They're at the police station. I don't know what he on, special task force or what, but he is a police officer. But they indicated that there was no disciplinary action for these two cops. And I also sent them a question. It wasn't an FOI, but it was a question. I asked them, had any of the two ever been accused of excessive force? And I didn't get a reply from neither of them, not Mayor Sanders, not Chris Brown, city attorney, not Ross Thompson, the police chief. And now I know why I didn't get a reply. Here you go, right here. Both of these gentlemen, John Frazier, who served as captain, and John Caruthers, both in 2016 were sued in federal court. Now, this gentleman that sued them, I've been trying to reach out to find out who he is. I really don't know. I don't know what's his race, so I'm not going to sit up here and say he's an African American when I don't know. But I just know that this was a case that he filed in the Mississippi Circuit Court, naming John Caruthers and John Frazier, the police department, the mayor, and the city of Blytheville as a whole. All right, but these two officers has a history of excessive force. Mayor Sanders know that. Chief Ross Thompson know that. I'm pretty sure Mr. Chris Brown, the city attorney, he know that. And I'm pretty sure the chairperson of Police and Fire, she know that. As well as I imagine there's members of the city council that know that. So why are they not being transparent? Why are they not concerned with the safety of the public? We should know what kind of officers that we got that's going throughout the community, where we have given them the privilege to protect and serve, put a gun on their hip and a badge on their chest. They are men and women of authority now. That's a powerful position, especially when you got a gun on your hip. But what's even more powerful, shall I say dangerous, is that when you go to the mindset of that police officer in terms of how he or she uses that authority. All right, but let's go up here and try to talk about this thing a little bit more. Again, that's what we're going to be talking about. Cops Frazier and Caruthers both sued in federal court in 2016. Let's go up here. I want you all to see this as well. Let's see if we can pull it up. Let me go back here, because I want you all to see this as well. And if you would please, I would like that you perhaps maybe to see it a little better, you might can turn your phone, landscape style, and that way perhaps maybe you can see it a bit better. All right, but Let me try to pull this thing up. Let me go up here. All right. Now, this is the case that was filed. Let me go up here. I want to show you the case number, okay? Let me go up here. I want to show you the case number. Let's go up here to page 1. Okay, here we go. This is a lawsuit. If you can see, if I can bring that over. You see over there to the top, your top right-hand corner, you see where this case was filed. This case was filed August the 24th, 2016, 4:00 p.m. Leslie Mason Circuit Court. Okay, now let's go back in the middle. Now, this case, I don't know this gentleman, but the plaintiff was a gentleman by the name of John Stephen Pugh. Okay, this case was filed in the Mississippi County Circuit Court, Chickasaw Division, Civil Division. All right. Okay, this is the case number here. Case number 47B-CV-16-215. TL, that normally stands for the judge who sat on this particular case. And there you go. Very first name you see at the top right there, John Caruthers, in his official capacity as a police officer for the city of Blytheville. Next, you also will see John Frazier individually, and in his official capacity as a police officer for the city of Blytheville. Of course, Ross Thompson also was named. That's the police chief. You know, he's responsible, you know, for the misconduct of his police officers. All right? And of course, the city as a whole. This is the complaint. It say, come now, John Stephen Pugh, by and through his attorney, James W. Harris, and for his complaint against John Caruthers, both in his individual capacity and as a police officer for the city of Blytheville. Jonathan Frazier, both in his individual capacity and as a police officer for the city of Blytheville. Ross A. Thomas, both in his individual capacity and as chief of police for the city of Blytheville, Arkansas, and the city of Blytheville, Arkansas State. Okay, now these are just, as we keep going down here, basically what it's just saying right here on the jurisdiction, just saying jurisdiction, which means in venue, they have the this is the proper court to hear this case, as well as the county, the city, or whatever. But anyway, as you can see, it just reads, this is an action for damages sustained by a citizen of Blytheville, Arkansas, against police officers of the Blytheville Police Department who unlawfully arrested, assaulted, persecuted, and harassed him, against the chief of police as the supervisor officer responsible for the conduct of his officers and for his failure to take corrective actions with respect to police personnel who viciously proximities were notorious to assure proper training and supervision of the personnel or to implement meaningful procedures to discourage lawless official conduct and against the city of Blytheville, Arkansas, as the employer of the police personnel, which is sued as a person on 42 U.S.C. 1983. That's the federal statute as well. There's many of them there. But that's basically just setting the jurisdiction. We're going to jump around here. If you all would just bear with me. Let's go to page 3, I believe. Let's go to page 3. We want to come down to number 6. It got it at all times relevant hereto. Defendant Ross A. Thompson was duly appointed chief of police of the Blytheville Police Department. As such, he was a commanding officer of defendant Caruthers and Frazier and was responsible for their training, supervision, and conduct. He was also responsible by law for enforcing the regulations of the Blytheville Police Department and for ensuring that Blytheville police personnel obey the laws of the state of Arkansas and of the United States at all relevant times. He was acting in such capacity as the agent, servant, and employees of the defendant, City of Blytheville. He is sued individual in his capacity. And it's pretty much going to say the same thing for the other defendants. And so we're just going to just go ahead and jump to, let's see what page we're going to jump to. Let's jump to page 5. Let's get with the facts. Now, the facts basically going to tell you exactly what happened. All right, let's go to page 5. I'm going to tell you what happened. Again, you will hear as I read this here. This is where, again, you will read along with me, and you will see, you know, hothead Frazier, you know, just start shooting off at the mouth until, you know, things led to coming to court case being filed in Mississippi County. But anyway, these are the facts. It say on July 26, 2016, plaintiff was legally and properly operating his motor vehicle on the streets of Blytheville, Arkansas, when defendant Caruthers stopped him allegedly for driving left to center. Line. Defendant Caruthers demanded that plaintiff exit his vehicle, told plaintiff that he was suspected of driving while intoxicated, and that field sobriety test would be administered. Okay, plaintiff exited his vehicle, and therefore Officer Frazier reached into plaintiff's vehicle, took the keys from the ignition, and commenced a search of the truck of plaintiff's car. He didn't even ask for permission. Defendant Caruthers performed field sobriety test, which defendant Caruthers claimed plaintiff failed. Plaintiff is an exceptionally large man with balance problems, which is in truth the reason he was unable to perform most of the field tests to defendant Caruthers' satisfaction. Plaintiff was placed under arrest and transported by defendant Caruthers to the Blytheville Police Department. At that point, he was a pretrial detainee as a matter of fact and law. Plaintiff was allowed to make a telephone call. Here it comes, y'all. Listen. Make a telephone call from the police department, and he did so. When he completed the call, he placed the phone back onto the wall in such a fashion that it fell to the ground. Here it comes, y'all, right here, next page. Here it comes. According to the police report, defendant Frazier, that hothead I was telling y'all about, who was present, gave loud verbal commands to plaintiff to pick the phone back up and hang it up properly. Plaintiff responded, "You hang it back up." At that point, defendant Frazier lost his temper and grabbed the plaintiff by his left arm. When plaintiff did not immediately follow defendant Frazier's commands, defendant Caruthers grabbed the plaintiff with great force, and plaintiff was taken to the ground. The ground was a concrete floor. At that point, defendant Caruthers grabbed the plaintiff's right thumb, grabbed his right thumb now, listen, and pulled it so far back that the thumb actually came in contact with plaintiff's arm, breaking it. That's the key word. I didn't put it in parentheses, or they didn't. Breaking plaintiff's thumb, broke his thumb, y'all, and causing him great pain and continue to cause him great pain. All right. When plaintiff was taken to the ground, he suffered several bruisings to his right hip, as evidenced by photos attached here to as Exhibit A. The injuries to his hip was due to the repeated kneeing and grinding until plaintiff's hip, back, inside by defendant Frazier. At that time, at no time did plaintiff ever resist arrest or make any physical movement which would suggest that any of the police officers were at risk of physical harm, especially considering the number of officers present in the location where all of this occurred, the police station. Plaintiff developed serious debilitating pain and other symptoms requiring him to seek medical care for his injuries. He sustained it when he was attacked and taken to the ground. All right, let me see. Do I need to go to page 7 or do I need to skip around? Oh yeah, I got it. Oh, page 6. That was page 5. Page 6. Let's go there. Page 19. Oh, page 19. I think I read that now. Yeah, I read that. Okay, let's go to page 7 then. Page 7. That's where we at. All right. And we're gonna read about 1 or 2 other pages, and then we're gonna get into some discussion here. Number 25, what I'm trying to get to. It says plaintiff hip and thumb have been permanent injured as a result of defendant Caruthers and Frazier attacking him and taking him to the ground, unable to protect himself from injuries. Let's jump down to number 28. Upon information and belief, defendant Caruthers and Frazier have both used overly aggressive methods to effectuate arrests in the past, and their history is known to the defendant Thompson and to those responsible for governing the city of Blytheville. Let's stop right there, y'all. You know, I get so sick and tired of, you know, whether it's the mayor, whether it's the police chief, whether it's members of the city council. I get so sick and tired that everybody playing dumb and crazy, like they do not know that these two guys have a history of excessive force. And you know very well, if I found this case, you know, where they were sued in federal court. Now, y'all know very well that Mary Sanders, the city attorney, and the police chief knew very well that these two guys were problematic. That's what I'm talking about transparency. They refuse to be transparent. They continue to hire these guys, knowing that they was very well sued in 2016. And what does Mary Sanders and Chief Ross Thompson do? They promote them. Already in a lawsuit and give them promotion. Let's go back and try to finish this up. And we're gonna read, we're gonna talk a little bit, and then I'm gonna shut it down, y'all. I'm not gonna hold you long. I just want to run this by y'all. Let's go to number 29. All right, let's go back. Let's go back. Number 29. Here we go, right here. Now, it got that even though defendant Thompson and those responsible for governing the city of Blytheville have at all times known, keyword, y'all put that in parentheses, known, they knew these guys, they knew their conduct, known about defendant Caruthers and Frazier overly aggressive method to effectuate arrests in the past. Neither the defendant police chief, Ross Thompson, nor the defendant city meaning who at the top, that fish, you know, about rocking at the, what is it, the head rock at the top, that'll be Mary Sanders. He's the big dog. You know, that's the fish. That's where the head started rocking. All these folks knew, the chief and the mayor. But guess what? They took any reasonable steps to correct defendant Caruthers and Frazier action and methods. Okay, let's go ahead and read number 30. And we're going to read 31. Matter of fact, we're going to read this whole page, and I think we're about finished. Okay. On information and belief, the abuse in which plaintiff was subjected was consistent with an institutionalized practice of the Blytheville Police Department, which was known to and ratified by Defendant Thompson in the city. When you see that word city, just say mayor. Okay? The defendants have at no time taken any effective action to prevent Defendant Caruthers and Frazier, as well as other police personnel, from continuing to engage in such conduct. Such over-aggressive behavior by Defendant Caruthers and Frazier is likewise indicative of the common praxis and thus an institutionalized praxis of using excessive force against citizens in the Blytheville community. Last paragraph on this page. On information and belief, Defendant Thompson in city, meaning mayor, have prior notice. In other words, they know about of this propensities of defendants Caruthers and Frazier took no steps to train them, correct their abuse of authority, or to discourage their unlawful use of authority. The failure to properly train Defendant Caruthers and Frazier includes the failure to instruct them in applicable provisions of the United States Constitution, the Arkansas Constitution, Arkansas state law, and with proper and prudent use of force. Okay? Now, that is that right there. Of course, you know, we start getting into the lawsuit then, you know, where, you know, they're bringing a cause of action. That case I was telling you about, 1983, that federal statute. It just goes on, you know, it lists, you know, a couple of things, A through, I think it's letters A through, I want to say D, various sections of it. As you can see, you know, it starts talking about the using a degree of force that was unreasonable under the circumstances and in violation of plaintiff's right to be free of an unreasonable seizure under the Fourth Amendment. Okay, Mr. Rump and his family also Fourth Amendment was also violated. But let me just go ahead and close this out with the last two paragraphs look like I have, which is paragraph 34 and paragraph 35. All right, and then we'll see if you all have any questions, concerns. If not, we're gonna shut it down. Okay, let's go to 34. Here we go. Right here. It got defended police chief under the color of law. That's what this whole federal statute is about. 1983, section 1983. That's what this whole section is about. You know, all of this misconduct is related or is taking place under the color of law. In other words, it was intentionally, it was negligently, and with complete and deliberate indifference to plaintiff right, cause plaintiff to be deprived of his constitutional rights, including but not limited to the fourth, violated, what's that Fourth Amendment I was telling you about, his Fifth Amendment, his Sixth Amendment, and his Eighth Amendment. Okay, failure to supervise properly and training the conduct of defendants, police officers. All right, so let's go down to number 35, and then we'll I think we'll be finished with this here. This is the last paragraph I'm going to read, y'all. Like I said, it's 13 pages. I just wanted to hit some of the high notes for you, especially giving you the facts that they broke the man thumb, y'all. That old Caruthers, you know, the one that had the knee on the neck. I guess he just loved to hurt folks. That was a thumb. This time he was going for the neck. But anyway, defended city under color of law, intentionally, negligently, and with complete deliberate. I read that. So we already went through it. It's pretty much saying the same thing as number 34. But basically what it's saying at the bottom is saying that the chief in city, which means the mayor, they have the responsibility to train these particular police officers and make sure that the statutory laws that have been passed by our state legislators, the police officers have been given the due privilege of going out, protecting, and serving. But they are not above the law. They must obey the same very laws that are passed down by our state legislators. Okay, so that's pretty much, you know, the case is pretty much, like I said, it's about 13 pages. I'm not going to read it all to you. I did say 13 pages. Now, that's what started the case. All right, that's what started the case. Now, the defendants, they made a motion for a stay. In other words, they want to move it from the circuit court into the federal court. So that's where the case is at now. I don't have that. Now, did you all get that case number? Let me put this back up there. For any of you who want to go to the courthouse and you want to go and pull this very same case that I got, okay, let me go up to the top, give you the case number. And you can go tomorrow. You don't know how to look it up, walk in there and give them the case number, and they'll go and get it for you. You can read it in your own privacy, all right, or your free time, at your convenience. This is the case right here. Y'all write this case number down. Y'all see that with my little cursor right there that's flashing? I'm gonna give y'all a little time to write down it. Use your cell phone. Take a photo shot of it. Y'all read this case. Case number 47. B as in boy. Dash. C as in Charlie. V as in Victor. Dash. 16 dash 212. You don't have to worry about that TF. That's just the judge initials. All right. That's the case number that you can go to the Mississippi County courthouse and you can retrieve that case for your own personal keeping. Now, what case I couldn't get, I was trying to reach out to one of my law professional friends who has an account with Pacer. I don't have a Pacer account. You got to get me one. So I couldn't look up that federal case, but I want to say this here. I do have the case number for you. So if you have a Pacer account or you know someone that has a Pacer account, this is the number that you need to key in. Let me find it for you. Let me find that number. Excuse me. Let me find that number for you right now. Now this is a federal case, okay? Let me find it for you right here. Now this is the federal case right here. They moved it to the federal court. As a matter of fact, I don't know if the case is still pending. I don't know have they resolved that case. I mean, if they have, you know, settled that case or what have you, I don't know. All I know is that it was in federal court. Hopefully I'm gonna find out something soon, but that's the case number. If you can't see that, I'm gonna read those numbers out to you too. The federal case is titled John Stephen Pugh versus John Caruthers. ETAL, that means, you know, instead of putting everybody's name, those abbreviations, the initials, all those names I read to you earlier, they also in this lawsuit. So although you just see John Caruthers' name, but all those other defendants, Frazier, the chief, the mayor, or what have you, they also included in this, will be defendants in this federal case here. But that's the case number there. I didn't read it to you, did I? The case number right there at the kind of at the end. Case number 3. You got your little colon. 3:16. C as in Charlie. V as in Victor. 00246. You don't have to worry about those initials. JM, that's just, like I say, that's the initials of the judge. But anyway, that's the case number, the federal case number. Again, 3:16. C as in Charlie, V as in Victor, 00246. So you might want to, you know, someone that has a Pacer account, you can have them to, you know, retrieve that federal case for you. But that's pretty much, you know, what I have, you all. Again, both of these gentlemen were sued in federal court in 2016 for excessive force. Now, we have to, we need to talk now. What we need to do, I'm gonna get over here to see if anyone got any questions, all right? Hopefully you all should have some questions, all right? If you don't have no questions, then we're gonna wrap this thing up. I mean, you need to know, I mean, why aren't the mayor and the chief, why aren't they willing to be transparent? Why couldn't they just come out and tell me that these officers have been accused of excessive force? Not only been accused of excessive force, but they were sued in federal court. Now, I really do believe I'm gonna have to take them back to court for contempt. I have some real valuable information that John Frazier, I know for one, has been disciplined. And I'm hearing that those disciplinary actions against him caused him to be demoted. And I'm also hearing it all was centered around racism. Now, I'm pretty sure Chief Thompson probably got rid of that file, but you can't get rid of the person. So I don't know how this person feels coming forward. I don't want to call his name yet. I'm hoping someone knows who I'm talking about, and asking you, will you please give him my information? You see my telephone number down there at the bottom, 870-740-1515. Have him to give me a call, because that's the best evidence you can have, is a body that who can come forward and who can actually give us proof that he was the victim of racism, and the person who made these racist comments would be the cop, John Frazier. I call him cop, y'all, because number one, he shouldn't be serving in that position. I think many of the police officers know it was just that job was just, it was handed to him, you know. To my understanding, he didn't even take a test, you know, and so they knew he was a hothead, knew he had been already in federal court sued for excessive force, but Ross Thompson awarded him. Let's talk about some other folks that Ross Thompson awarded. Y'all remember the case of Terrence Dobson, who was shot in the back? A lot of the shooting in the back going on. Shot in the back. That officer was promoted. He might be a lieutenant now. I know he at one point he was a sergeant. I believe he's a lieutenant now. Promotion. Who was another one? Somebody else I'm missing. But that's what he does. He either rehired these folks or he promoted. This is, I think, Sister Bark said it better. I mean, Ross Thompson know what he had. He know what he had. And he support the conduct, or should I say misconduct, of his officers. Mayor Sanders know that, and the city council know that. Here's the deal. Why are you allowing your leaders to allow the police department to treat you like the mud on the bottom of their shoes? Aren't you worthy? Should you be treated like you are the employer? You the employer. You pay their bills. They work for you and me. And our city attorney need to quit covering for him. We elect the city attorney. He's not a hired an employee. He holds an elected office. It's no different than William Barr need to understand. He don't work for Donald Trump. He worked for the people of the United States of America. It's no different than the city attorney. The city attorney works for the very people that elected him. Now, before I close, I'm gonna go over here and see if we got any questions. See everybody on here. How you doing, Miss Barley? How you doing? Miss Rose, how you doing? Miss Williams, how you doing? Miss Williams again, how you doing? Miss Williams again, how you doing? Miss Rump, how you doing? I'm looking for some questions, y'all. What do we? Okay, here we go. It said, what do we put in the paper for a lawsuit? That's all depends. If you want to file your own personal lawsuit, then you have to hire your own attorney, Mrs. Lomax. What we're doing, we're trying to get an attorney to represent us all. That's why we asking for $100 per person. And I forgot to say that $100 can be paid in installments. Like I say, we're not going to start this thing to sometime in January. You might want to pay, say, 50 here and 50 later. You know, and if your money really hurting bad, you might want to pay 25, 25, 25, 25. You know, hopefully you can do that, you know, in 1 month. You know, and still in 4 months. Hopefully you can do that. And well, we're not gonna wait for a month. I'm just tell you that now. Hopefully you can do that in 1 month. You know, so you can either give $100 a pop straight up front. You can give it in installments, 50 here, 50 there, or you know, you can do it 4 times in 1 month. All right. But we're gonna set this thing up. We haven't really put it together yet. We're just talking to you all now to let you all know that it's time for you to push back against this systemic racism. And just unfortunate that it exists in our police department. So that's that, Mrs. Paperwork. All I need, actually, if you ever been on the end of police misconduct, it would be good if you can give me a copy of your police complaint. All right. How you doing there, Ms. Zam? You doing all right? That's my sister there, Miss Alicia. How you doing? That's woman of God. How you doing? Miss William again. Miss William again. Miss William again. Try to see if I can find some more questions. Any more questions in here? Those are full of crap. I don't see how they still have a job. They should. I agree. You know, I tell you one thing. Ross Thompson know everything that he had. Everything that he had. And We got to reel him in, y'all. We got to pull his coattail. I mean those two, exactly. They don't just, they know this regular, very reckless. They don't care exactly. You know, we can just go on and on and on. Let's see, it's the same thing that's going on. Well, it's the same thing that's going on in Osceola. And with these officers, only thing about them is they hit you with resistance arrest, for real. Well, you know, that's another thing that we got to address. You know, there's so many different forms of, you know, resisting arrest. You know, active or aggressive, you know, resistance, what they call it. That's when the police may be within their authority or right, or they already have authority, but may be within their right to use some physical force to subdue you or to stop you from resisting. But that's only in cases of active or aggressive resistance. Now, when there's a term that's called passive resistance. Passive resistance should require no physical force. For example, let me give you an example. An officer say, license and registration. I'm in my car, license and registration. I tell the officer, my license and registration is in my glove box. The officer instruct me to lean over, go into my glove box, and retrieve my license and my registration. You don't want to do that. And you already know why you don't want to do that. Right? You reaching for a weapon. And he will shoot and kill you dead. So this is your response to the officer. It's what I tell them. Excuse me. Officer, my license, man, my license and registration is in the glove box. Officer, you're more than welcome to come around, go into my glove box, and retrieve my license and my registration. Now, in a way, that is passive resistance. In other words, you're not obeying a command, but you're doing it for a good reason. You're doing it to stay alive. That shouldn't require no physical assault because you passively resisted or disobeyed. Okay? So there's many different terms of resistance. Let's see if we get anything else. Let's see. Where we file the federal paperwork. You keep saying we. You see, now when you referring to we, which is I don't know if you mean in you got another group or what. Oh, I'm only talking to the people that want to join us on this legal fund. The attorneys is going to do everything. All you got to do is if you got any paperwork or complaints that you have filed, or even lawsuits that you might have filed, you know, any paperwork or documentation or proof that you have endured misconduct, that's what we need. And of course, you know, with $100, you know, because we're trying to get an attorney. Now, if you're trying to obtain your own attorney, where you want to file your own personal lawsuit and you don't want to join the class, then you're going to have to, first of all, find an attorney that'll take your case. All right? When you file an attorney that'll take your case, you don't have to do nothing. Your attorney going to do the work for you. All right? So, believe me, as a lay person, you can file a lawsuit. It's just too much you know, for the drafting of the legal document, the researching, the case law, filing of discovery, everything is, you know, you're working with a timeline. That's a lot of work. And can't no layperson file a federal lawsuit or a state lawsuit for that matter, you know, as a layperson. It's too much work. And that's why we're trying to file the class action. I hope that answers your question, Mrs. Lomain. But thank you for your question. No question is a unworthy question. That's what we're here for, to ask questions and to learn. All right? Is that another question? Oh, it's the same one. And in regards to Osceola, you was talking about Osceola. I don't know what to do for Osceola. I mean, I've tried. I've given y'all all kinds of information. You know, I told y'all that you got a police board down there that secretly had been created where it didn't have no blacks on it. They might have one now since old Big Mouth Tony Hollis opened his mouth. You know, and so some changes might have occurred down there. But nevertheless, you still have a police department in Osceola that if they get established like they plan on being established, Osceola, y'all in trouble. Y'all in big trouble. All right. Mr. Harper, you know where I go to put in a discrimination charge. Oh, okay. You want to know? All right. Now, if you have ever been a victim of police misconduct, then what you need to do is go to the police department. A lot of times they have these complaints online. You know, you can go ahead and download it. The city of Osceola should have a website. They should have that complaint form on their website where you can print it out. I do know you can go inside the Osceola Police Department and you can tell them, I want the police complaint form. They shouldn't give you, they shouldn't even ask you, well, why you need it. That ain't your business. You don't have to tell them why you need it. You know, you ask for the form, they're supposed to give you the form. All right? They don't need to know why. You know, if they try to get you to fill the form out there, you don't need to fill the form out there. You can take it home. Tell them I'll bring it back. All right? So their only job is to give you the form, what you asked for. All right? You get it at the Osceola Police Department. That's if you file a complaint against the police department. Now, if you file one against, say, an attorney, or if you file one against a judge, then you have to go to the state website. I want to say it's at the Arkansas Bar Association. They made it. I know you can find it there. You may be the Arkansas Supreme Court legislature. They got a website. But if you're filing a complaint against an attorney or a judge, then you're going to have to retrieve those forms from the state website. Okay? So I hope that answers your question. See if we got any more questions there. All of them need to go when and where to pay. Oh, how you doing there, Miss Bradley? We're going to start it. We're going to jumpstart this thing sometime in after the new year. Maybe the second or third week of January 2021. I'll be putting all that information out to you all. And so, but right now, I'm trying to go ahead and be respectful of everyone. You know, they're out shopping, want to enjoy the holidays or what have you. But we will be coming back around the second or third week of January to go ahead and roll this thing out. Okay. See if we got another. Hope that answers your question. Thank you, and I want to join the group, and I give my word. Thank you, sister. There you go. And I know you're a fighter too. Please, I need for you to help me. Speak to individuals down on the south end of the county. They need to understand they have a dog in this fight too. Okay? They're not special. They can get beat upside the head, or even worse, killed. Okay? So they got a dog in this fight too. But I think that's all the questions you all will get through them. I don't see any more questions up here, and so I want to remind you all again, please, I would love for you all to help us get these 200 people. You know, all I need is $100. You cannot find an attorney that's going to give you some representation for $100. Let's do this thing in unity, you all. And I'm going to try to find out where that federal case is at, if it's still pending, or have they did anything with it. But I want to speak to Blytheville. Again, y'all know me. I'm a factual man. I don't brought you the evidence right here. Right here. This ain't no hearsay. I didn't make this stuff up. This is a legal court docket in the Mississippi County. I gave you the case number. You can look it up yourself and read it. This is a legal court file, documents, 13 pages of it, that specifically tells you that these two individuals, John Caruthers and John Frazier, they have a history of excessive force. Mary Sanders knew that, and Chief Ross Thompson knew that. So why are they scratching their heads, trying to find every reason not to terminate these two guys? I didn't say discipline. They need to be fired. Come on, y'all. These guys already done took the city to federal court in 2016. And I don't even know if the case was ever resolved or settled. It could very well still be pending. And that's even worse. If the case is still pending, and here they are, done committed more misconduct in terms of how they treated Mr. Abby Rump. Every person that live in the city of Blytheville need to be calling Mary Sanders and every city council person, your representative, don't just call your representative, call them all, and demand that John Frazier and this John Caruthers, they need to be fired, y'all. How many more times must the chief and the mayor condone, allow these two gentlemen to continue to torture the community with excessive force? I don't know. I don't know what is it that you all will not get up off your butt and push back. It ain't gonna stop. What's gonna have to happen? Or you're gonna have to get a telephone call that your son was shot and killed. Your nephew was shot. That just shows you an opening of a young man couldn't even go out to get Subway sandwiches. He's dead. I thought what was worse, Trayvon Martin. Remember that? Iced tea and what was it, a bag of Skittles? He's dead. Woman in Texas couldn't even sit down and play video games. I think that was her nephew. Shot and killed through the window. Her own room. What was another one? Man sitting down in his living room. Whole drunken police, just delusional, walked into the wrong apartment, shot and killed a man in his own apartment while he was eating a bowl of ice cream. I can just go on and on and on. I done told y'all about Terrence Dotson, shot in the back. I done told y'all about the young man down at the Dodger store. I got to take the video. What they telling y'all, it don't add up. That man was shot. He came nowhere near that officer, the woman that shot and killed him. He came nowhere near her. You can look at the video footage. He was shot from a distance. So for this woman to allege that she not only got struck one time, but two, that's in the doc, that's in the court reading. She got hit twice. How in the heck are you gonna let a man, or anybody for that matter, you got a gun on your hip, how you gonna get off 2 punches? He would have to be in close proximity with that officer to strike her as she alleged she was struck. She had to get up off the ground to walk over to the man to see what he did. He was nowhere near her. We have a man that's dead. His dying is in vain right now. And a police officer done got off free. Hadn't even been on the job but a year. So that lack of experience. And I understand she was scared as hell. She didn't know what to think. My guess is she lost her footing by trying to obstruct Mr. Scott from moving. Looking at the film, it appears she lost her footing. She went down. And when she went down, my guess, she was scared as hell. Didn't know whether this guy was going to get on top of her and start beating the hell out of her like he did the store employee across the street at Dodger Dog. She was afraid. Understandable. Ain't been on the job for but a year. She got no bag up, didn't wait for bag up. And she lost her footing and she went down. She was afraid. So she started firing. Listen, y'all, go back and watch the video. That man came nowhere near her. Where's the medical report? Did she go to the doctor? You mean tell me she got hit twice, enough to kill a man, and we don't even have a medical report? I'm gone. Y'all, again, legal fund, 200 people. All right? Help us out. All right? Let's do this thing. Enough with the police abuse. Enough with the systemic racism. Enough with corruption within the Blytheville police officer. We got to weed them out. They got to go, y'all. Starting with Frazier and John Caruthers. And if I'm telling y'all, you got the power. If we can't depend on Mayor Sanders and our city council to get rid of these folks, then so many others have said already, our leaders need to go. They got to go. They don't have your best interests at heart. They know that they got rotten apples on the police force. And they turn their head. They're silence. Silence is nothing but betrayal. They don't care about you. They don't care about your family. It's just a matter of time before another black in this city is going to be shot and killed, if not choked and killed, by the Blytheville Police Department. While we're waiting, we're just waiting like a duck, sitting ducks. But anyway, I know I don't went off. But anyway, y'all, I'm gonna come back. I'm hoping I don't come back on. I wasn't planning on coming on now. I'm planning on enjoying myself for the holidays. I hope I don't have to come back on. But anyway, if I don't get any more questions on here, you all, we're gonna go ahead and shut this thing down and call it a night. I see Mr. Brooks, he came on. The mayor and the chief need to go. Hey, man, they know, man. Mr. Brooks, they know. They know what they hired. They know what they have. They knew when I asked it for the disciplinary file for John Frazier and John Caruthers. I even asked a question: have they ever been accused of excessive force. They didn't give me an answer, and I see why now they didn't give me an answer. These folks got to go, man. We have a mayor and a city council refuse to hold the chief and the mayor feet to the fire. Our city council is supposed to be our representatives. If we can't depend on our city council, we elected them. Okay, they're supposed to serve us. But they're worrying about how much money they're going to lose. They're more so worrying about protecting city employees than protecting the public. We should never condone that. Please, burn their telephones, emails, cell phones. Do what you have to do. Make them understand you're sick and tired of Ross Thompson doing what he want to do with the police force, and Mayor Sanders let him do it. If these folks is not going to step up and have your best interest at heart, let's get rid of all of them. 22 coming up. 22 coming up. Don't you let them go out there and put some signs up like they got you last time. Your tax dollars working good. You went down there and vote for them like a fool. They ain't doing nothing for you. You know, you can't tell me nothing in these 12 years. How that have impacted your life for the better. Let me shut up. But anyway, look like we got some more people here. Who's that? How you doing there, Mrs. Moses? That's Miss Williams. All right. That's Miss Williams. Bradley. How y'all doing? Well, y'all, that's my show. No one will have any more questions. Like I said, we'll be coming back. We're going to try to roll this thing out. One lawsuit, not two, not three. One lawsuit. When we file this one lawsuit, watch how we get their respect. They're going to be shaking the piggy bank. Everything that they hear rattle, they're going to be shaking it because they're going to need it. All right? That's all I have, you all. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. And I want to say, hopefully, you all will see me probably. I'm hoping you'll see me after Christmas. I don't plan on coming back on unless something happens. All right? But you all have a blessed Christmas and New Year as well. Please stay safe as I continue to repeat. The pandemic is real. We're not just seeing people being lost across the country, but it's happening in our state, and in many cases, it's happening in our county, in our cities. So let's stay faced, let's mask up, you know, do all those things, hygiene, washing your hands, etc. Your kids, if your kids are going to school, you know, you have the responsibility of making sure that you check their temperature before they go out the door, and you check their temperature when they come home. All right? That's all I have, you all. I want to say peace and love. May God bless you. May God keep you. And until then, peace and love.